What is up, celestial beings and innovators? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we are beginning our adventures through our supposed future timeline as we dive into Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Many timelines actually do take place in Anno Domini timeline, or some variant of it, until humanity begins living in space. Then it becomes something new. But what if humanity continued and kept using the AD timeline? Gundam 00 answers that question. You can tell we are entering a new age of anime distribution, as this series will be the first to have a 25 episode season. Praise the gods. Imagine if Gundam Seed was 25 episodes instead of 50. I mean, if you take out all the flashbacks, it might actually be 25 episodes. Anyways, did you know that there is a stage play of Gundam 00? Look it up. It is glorious. Let's not get distracted with stage plays, and let's get into this. Before we dive into this, we must start by discussing the Anno Domini timeline. This show asks the question, what if Gundams, but in our near future? So let's start at the beginning of this story. So there was this guy, his name was Jesus. Actually, I'm going to skip ahead a few millennia. 2051, Aeolus Schoenberg is born. He will be the creator of Celestial Being and the GN Drive. More on this later. 39 years later, in 2090, a global fuel crisis is in effect. Humanity is running out of fossil fuels. Schoenberg creates a theoretical concept for an orbital elevator and photovoltaic energy systems. However, no one pays attention. While creating these theoretical concepts, he was also working on humanoid robots, separate to humanity, creating their own mobile suits, and can be considered the actual inventor of mobile suits. A year later, in 2091, Schoenberg explores the concept of GN particles. He also finds out that the GN particles have the ability to transmit thoughts. He believes this could save humanity, but recognizes that humanity is full of hatred, greed, and violence. He begins a plan to save humanity. Sometime over the next 100 years, the organization Celestial Being is formed using Aeolus Schoenberg's plan as the core to their vision. They want to end war and conflict. Of course, they plan on making this happen through war and conflict. The Celestial Beings create the Veda, a quantum computer that utilizes GN particles and quantum processing. This supercomputer recruits celestial beings to help make Schoenberg's vision a reality. A celestial being can communicate with Veda using innovates. This is a bioterminal that allows a human to communicate with Veda. 2101. Schoenberg spends the rest of his life advancing space colonization, but he suddenly disappears and is assumed dead in space. 2188. The Union heads to Jupiter on the vessel Europa. This is an exploration mission, but a few members of Celestial Being are a part of the mission. They intend to test GN drives in secret while on Jupiter. Sometime during the early 23rd century, an accident happens on Jupiter, and one of the crew members kills the other crew members. No one knows what happens. That is until 2225, that an exploration team happens to stumble onto a Haro carrying some data. The 2250s. Planning and funding for the construction of the orbital elevator begins. Schoenberg's vision is finally becoming a reality. 2283. Neil and Lyle, the Lock-On Bros, are born in AEU. 2288. Alleluia Haptism is born in HRL. 2289. The Fourth Solar Power War begins. Also, the Mars tragedy occurs. Sometime in the next year, the GN drive of the Zero Gundam is completed. This is the prototype that will be the basis for the next generation of mobile suits. 2291. Setsuna F Seiei is born with the name Soren Abraham in the Republic of Krugus. 2292. The Fifth Solar Power War begins. The second generation mobile suits are created. During this time, the Advanced European Union, or EAU, develops its first production mobile suits, the Hellion. Also, the Human Reform League, or HRL, has already deployed the Tieran. 2295, we reach the second generation of Celestial Being crew members. 2297, the Union's orbital elevator is completed and HRL's will be completed soon. 2299, Soren Abraham kills his parents and becomes a child soldier. And that brings us to the beginning of our story. 2301. The Kurdish Republic is fighting against Azatistan. AMPs are taking out workloaders. The MSER-04 AMP is the redesigned version of HRL's Phantom. These units run on fossil fuels. During this time, we are seeing more units utilize the orbital elevator and solar power. Because of its reliance on fossil fuels, this unit is used mainly in the Middle East. AMP means nose in Arabic, and yeah, I see it. This unit is easy to repair and maintain, which is why they exist. exist even after the HRL move on to the Tyran. This unit is equipped with a head-mounted machine gun and a forearm-mounted smoothbore gun. A workloader is a construction suit designed specifically to help build the orbital elevator. A young Soren Abraham is fighting in this war. His people are fighting in the name of God, but he recognizes that no God exists in this world. He is trapped by two amps who are about to shoot him when an unknown mobile suit comes in and destroys the amps. This is the test mobile suit mentioned earlier, the Zero Gundam, sporting the GN drive. The GN 000 Zero Gundam is the first mobile suit equipped with the GN drive. It was originally piloted by Ribbons Allmark. This unit was completed around 2290 and was used during the Solar Power Wars decades earlier. This unit went on to create the second generation of Gundams. 6 years later, in 2307, AEU is watching a demonstration of their latest mobile suit, the AEU Enact. The AEU Enact is AEU's latest mobile suit and is meant to be the predecessor to the Hellion. Geopolitically, it seems that the AEU is lagging behind the other two nations, so they decide to put R&D into mobile suit production. This unit is meant to be on par with the Union's flag. More on that soon. This unit has the ability to receive solar power from the orbital elevator. The Enact draws the power it needs for activation from hydrogen fuel cells stored at the molecular level in the mobile suit's component material, and this method of storage has extremely low risk of explosion. That doesn't sound reassuring. It is equipped with a 20mm machine gun, defense rod, linear rifle, plasma sword, and a long-range missile. Billy Katagiri and Graham Acker are watching and noting that it is similar to the flag. As this performance is going on, a mysterious Gundam drops down on their location. This is Exia Gundam. The GN 001 Gundam Exia is one of the 4 third-generation Gundams. If you are wondering what the second generation was, it is elaborated in the light novel Mobile Suit Gundam 00P. What makes this Gundam is the GN drive, which provides limitless power and produces GN particles. We will go into more detail about GN particles in the future, but for now, they allow the unit the ability to maneuver in Earth atmosphere independently of support units. It also allows the unit to re-enter Earth's atmosphere and is used in their beam technology. The Exia is equipped with a GN sword, a beam saber, a beam dagger, a long and short blade, and a shield, all utilizing GN particles. It also has the Veda linked operating system and will eventually use the Trans-An system. Billy thinks that this is an HRL unit at first. Exia is cutting off communication with most of AEU's communication devices. Patrick Colasar, who is piloting the Enact, is confused, but preps itself for battle. Exia comes in and completely disarms the Enact with ease. Graham Acker uses binoculars to notice the label Gundam on the mobile suit. Exia takes off. They all wonder how the unit took off without any propulsion system. AEU sends out Hellions to take out the Exia. The AEU 05 Hellion Perpetuum is the primary mobile suit of the AEU military, with the hopes of changing that to the Enact. This is the third version of this mobile suit, as it has been upgraded since 2092. This unit has an MS mode and a flight mode, and is equipped with a 20mm machine gun, defense rod, linear rifle, sonic blade, and a long-range missile. The Hellion's loadout is more or less the same as the Enact. Lock-on Stratos in the Gundam Dynamis does some sniping and assists Setsuna. The GN 002 Gundam Dynamis is another GN drive mobile suit. This unit is a recon unit and is highly effective at sniping. Its main weapon is an extremely long-range powerful GN sniper rifle, and when operating this rifle, Dynamis is in sniper mode, whereby the gun camera hidden in the head is exposed and a precious shooting scope in the cockpit is deployed. It is also quite capable in mid-range combat. Along with the sniper rifle, it is equipped with the GM missile, beam saber, shield, full shield, beam pistol, and super substratospheric altitude gun. They complete the second phase, which was to expose that the EAU was hiding hangars within their orbital elevator. The first phase was taking out the Enact. Meanwhile, over at HRL's orbital elevator, terrorists come in piloting Hellions and attack the high orbital station. It seems to be a suicide mission. However, another Gundam appears. The GN-003 Gundam Curious is a transformable mobile suit and has a flight mode. The Curious's mobility and maneuverability are greatly enhanced in flight form, exceeding those of the other Gundams and mobile suits utilized by the 3 major powers. Of course, this is powered by a GN drive. This is piloted by Alleluia. It is able to take out the terrorists and protect the HRL, but one unit gets through. Luckily, Gundam Virtue comes in and uses its bazookas, destroying the remaining unit and completing Phase 3. The GN-005 Gundam Virtue is a chunky mobile suit with great defenses, specializing using in artillery warfare for fleet battles and assault enemy strongholds. The Virtue's firepower is unmatched among contemporaries thanks to heavy beam weaponry consisting of the GN bazooka and 2 GN cannons. Its size makes it not as mobile as the other Gundams. The pilot's name is Tieria. The news shows a video of a bearded man who tells the world of the celestial beings. They have been fighting to rid the world of war for decades and tells them that they will intervene if necessary. The 3 players that this message is for are the Union of Solar Energy and Free Nations, the Advanced European Union, and the Human Reform League. We name-dropped these earlier, so let's talk about each nation. The Union of Solar Energy and Free Nations, which we will simply refer to as the Union from now on, consists of the Americas, Australia, and Japan. They were the first to complete an orbital elevator out of the 3 nations. It is built in South America. The United States President also controls the Union and the power, as it kinda runs as the world's police. Mobile Suit Warehouse and Development is their military branch and weapons manufacturer. The Advanced European Union, or AEU, consists of most of Europe, along with territories in Africa and Iceland and Greenland. As of 2307, their elevator is not complete but is operational. Unlike the Union, the AEU started developing mobile suits that utilizes the power from the orbital elevator, such as the Enact. Their elevator is located in their African territories. The Human Reform League, or HRL, consists of Mongolia, China, India, Russia, and parts of Southeast Asia, along with Turkey, Taiwan, Georgia, and Armenia. They also operate a space colony at the L4 point. In the HRL, China handles the politics, Russia handles the military, and India handles the technology. Sucks to be a Russian interested in engineering. You go to war, bitch. They also control Papua New Guinea, where their orbital elevator is located. If you have noticed, each orbital elevator is located at the equator. Considering these are giant solar panels, that is the most optimal space to gather energy. They also operate as space elevators. It seems this universe has evolved past the need for mass drivers and obscene amounts of propulsion. Saji Crossroad and Luis Halavua. Remember these 2 as we will randomly return to them. Meanwhile, HRL is planning an attack against Celestial Being. At AEU, their people are studying the attack against the Enact. They simply come to the realization quick that their mobile suits are quite inferior. The Union president simply notes that they intervene to ensure the safety of their citizens, but for now, they will simply observe. Billy and Graham are discussing Exia. They note that all communications failed when Exia was in their presence. Someone from Mobile Suit Warehouse and Development comes. It seems the 2 have a mission. In space, Setsuna in Exia, Alleluia in Kyrios, Lock-On in Dynamis, and Tieria in Virtue launch. Their mission is to help a small faction, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam, or Tamil Tigers. One thing to note is that Lock-On has a Haro, and it might be the best Haro in all of Gundam. Although Witch from Mercury did have those murder Haros, HRL spots them and notes that the Gundams are able to enter Earth's atmosphere without any support unit. AEU and the Union are also informed of their descent into Earth. Graham tells Billy that HRL's true intentions are to control the entire solar power pipeline. They are also informed of Celestial Being's move and decides to head to action as well. While monitoring the battlefield, Setsuna has some PTSD and flashes back to 2301. He says the line and rushes into battle. You know the one. He battles with Tierran ground types. The MSJ-062A Tierran ground type is HRL's mass-produced mobile suit and has been in service for over a decade. This is a battery-powered mobile suit unlike its predecessors. It is incredibly heavy and has low mobility. Beam weapons? Nah. This thing runs on shell weapons, baby. Good old reliable. HRL prefers reliability over new tech. He shows off his sweet melee moves while Lock-On does some sniping. Lock-On recognizes that Setsuna is being impatient. Alleluia is sad about murdering, but he still continues doing it. Most are down, but 2 tier and high mobility types come in. The MSJ-062C tier and high mobility type is designed with 2 goals in mind: to remedy the ground type's poor mobility while maintaining the advantage of its heavy bulk, and to incorporate some form of flight capabilities. Not that it matters because Setsuna is able to take both out with ease. They complete their missions and take off, but they notice a Union ship coming towards their location. It is a flag. The SVMS-01 Union flag is the Union's mass-produced mobile suit. This unit led to the AEU's envy and their desire to build the Enact. The flag can transform between the humanoid MS mode and the fighter jet-like flight mode. The Union acts as the world's police space, and as such, their flight mode allows the unit to deploy with ease anywhere in the world. Unlike other units, it doesn't need any special loadout to transform between MS mode and flight mode. The ability to transform mid-flight is known as the Graham Special and is named after its creator, Graham. Speaking of which, Graham happens to be piloting this flag. Setsuna and Graham engage in battle. And that will do it for this episode. There is a lot going on in the beginning of this series, so we definitely will be re-explaining some of the world building as we dive deeper into the universe. Regardless, we learned a little bit about the Gundam known as Setsuna F Seiei. But next time, we will learn about the Celestial Being crew. We will also see Graham customize his Union flag, and we will talk about Wang and Hong Long, who were in these episodes being very vague and menacing. But that will do it for this episode. Remember, innovators, if you believe that you are a Gundam, then you are a Gundam. Peace.